Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm back working on my seamstress, and I just wanted to revisit some of the elements that I removed from the piece to see if they can be worked in, and it might lead to some other ideas that might help me develop my project. So this little heart, I've been thinking about it. Actually, before I do that, what I did was I tore down my piece of calico. So now I've got my edges defined. So that I think will allow me to do a little bit of piecework with all of these neutral elements that I want to sort of border my piece with, but I'll go through that in a moment. And I was thinking about this heart. It's such a, I don't know, a blob. Does that make sense? It's such a, a strong piece. Where's my scissors? Hang on. Thought I brought them in. Yep. So I had a bit of an idea. I'm going to be brave and I'm going to deconstruct my little piece. Oh gosh, I hope I don't regret this. So what I'm thinking of doing is fussy cutting it out, fraying up the edges, and seeing what that looks like. But I'm thinking I'm going to take it one step further and cut out the center of it. And I think by getting rid of all of the excess fabric and bringing it down to more of a dainty piece, I think it'll look better. And I sort of feel like it would sit in over here, and I could cut the center away yeah, it's definitely going to go there, but I need it to be, I'm going to do it. I've done it. I'm going to cut out this excess, and I think that'll help it become more of a dainty piece. So it's the only way I can describe it. See, all the embroidery on it is very dainty. So I feel like I could go one step further and create a interesting little element that could be used. I was just being unable to find a home for it. And I think this might just do the trick. Yeah, heaps better. Looks like a bit of a treasure now. So now I'm just going to nibble out a little bit more, and I'm going to start fraying it up a little, I think, and that'll soften it even more, make it feel a little older. We can furry it up a little. Yes, there we go. Doesn't look like it's just been fussy cut out. It's got a bit of interest around it, and being it was stitched on a very fine, I think it was silk, it should loosen up nicely. There we go. That's heaps better. Now I really like it. Let's get in there, and because it's the treasure hunt series, it was all about piecing together random items to make an overall piece. There. See? Now it works. Happy with that. And I can see the lace through the piece. And it's not such a, I don't know, one item sitting there. Yep, very good. Now the other thing I found when I was packing up the mannequin, this had fallen to the ground, and I had crocheted some little hearts when the prompt, where's the other one? There was a pink one. When the heart prompt, oh, don't tell me I've lost it now. See, I lose one heart, find another. Goodness me, are you serious? Little crocheted pink heart. Oh, here it is. This guy. So I want to find a spot for these two as well. Thinking it's going to go up there. Just pin that into position, stitch him down, and then we've got this big guy. Grandma did a lot of crocheting, so to have crocheting in my piece really makes sense. What about down there? Lift it up into this space. This doesn't look right, cream on cream over here. Sort of feel like it works in there. I'm just going to pin it. You never know, I might end up moving it, but at the moment that feels like it could be a home for it. Now the other thing I wanted to work on is this. Are we going to use it or not? Can we find a spot for this panel? We are running out of a bit of space here. Maybe I can bring it in up on the corner. Do I cut it down? Do I? Still not convinced that it has a home. Okay, that's all good. What I want to do is down here, start piecing in some of these fabrics that came from the project and building up a bit of a border that I can do some stitching. Am I going to bend them over, or am I going to rough edge it? Do we want a folded look? How do we want the piece to be finished? Just bear with me, I'm just thinking. I sort of don't mind the idea of these little pieces folding in. So then how would the next piece go? That slides in there. Needs to be a different colour. I could tuck in under there. And then that folds over. Is that the look we want? Don't mind that. That softer edge instead of a frayed edge. It might make the lace all look like it's floating with a folded edge. I think we're going to do that, you know. And to save some fabric, so we will piece in and tuck like that. And then that lace can be stitched down so it sort of peeks down onto that panel. Like so. I think once I get my, let's call this all background work. Once I get this whole background down, I then can go in and do some embroidery, and I'll embellish those flowers and a bit of bead work, and I'll play. But I think until I sort of feel like I've got everything secure, and because I have the list of prompts already, I can sort of plan probably a little bit more of how I'm going to proceed with it. So that's the plan, is just keep getting the background sorted. Yeah, I like that. And if the background is predominantly lace, which is sort of what it is, it's old antique linens and lace, and then smatterings of flowers, and then visiting the prompt list to see what treasures are yet to be found. I know I don't have trim yet on the piece, was another treasure. So yeah, I need to I think focus on getting that. This piece here, I think it needs to tuck in under there, and I think I could probably cut it. So I think that's the next task, is get my border sorted to some degree. Tuck in, tuck in. So little bit by little bit, it comes together. It really is a case of just, you know, working through it, solving little issues or little design. That's better. Yeah, see that folded edge, even though it's a scrappy edge, but I like that soft fold. Yeah, that under there, that there. So I can now go, and I'll probably invisible stitch it first, so then it's in position, gets rid of all the pins. Then I can have a think about what running stitch, camphor stitching, embroidery, you know, all those other little details, like it's all the detail work I think will follow. And I can stitch down these laces, they'll all have a place to rest. Yeah. And the piece will be just come more and more secure. Okay, so I might just work this corner. I still don't know what's going up this side. Maybe I can find a trim or something. I feel like it's really intense up here, really, and it's drifting down to just a bit of quiet space over here. So maybe there's a trim, or I don't know. Something will come. So this piece I might bring up over all of it, like that. Pin you down. So it's in the afternoon here, and the sun is probably a couple hours from setting. So I thought I'll just jump in here and film this video, and this will give me something to stitch tonight. Oh, I'm pleased I found a home for the heart. So the heart prompt's really covered. It's like everything's floating by doing this edging like this. I really like it. Usually I have a rough turned edge. You can't even see. But I'm really liking that soft edge on this piece. I don't know why. Is it because it's so lacy? Don't know. Use up all these scraps, and to think all these pieces were on it once, so they're still in play, but they've just found a new home again. Yeah, that's good, having that lace come out over that. Really pretty. Okay, now Let's work up this edge here. What other bits have we got? Some really old hemp. Beautiful texture. And that lace looks really pretty on it. I might just sneak it a bit deeper in because that lace looks really nice sitting on that. And then tuck it under. So yeah, invisible stitch it all down, girl. That's what you'll be doing. I can tack down all that. See that lace edge is still up. I can stitch all that down. I'll stitch that down. It's slowly coming together, isn't it? Is that the same fabric? Nope. Looks the same. It's a bit too similar, isn't it? Probably should be doing it consecutively in a row, but I'm not. I'm scooting all over the place, but that's all right. That to there, that to there. Tuck that under a little bit more. Yep, that's good. And then do the rolled edge. That's it. So you need a little something there. Maybe a pale piece. Just a little bit. Hang on, we've got a slither here. Look. Let's slide that in there. And under she goes. Beautiful. And then that lace can be skewered. Oh gosh, feels like it's coming together. Really does. Very happy. That's too similar to that, but if we spin this around, we'll probably be able to find something for that little bit, but we might use this big piece to come into this corner. And rolled. That's a selvage, so we're going to get a nice edge. Pins, pins, pins. I was actually quite surprised at how many pins returned to my pin cushion after I deconstructed this piece. It was really holding a lot of pins. I was wondering where they'd all got to. I guess that's the beauty of pulling UFOs out of the cupboard and finishing them, and you find all sorts of things, don't you? And you restock your pin collection. Yep, that's good. Happy with that. Love it. Feels like there's a patchwork underneath it. A patchwork, it's like floating. Okay, this one looks good. This little scrappy bit. Might even bring that up over the lace. There you go, there's something a bit. Bring it on top of the lace. Ooh, interesting. Fancy. Okay. Yeah, these are very similar in colour. We could really do with digging around, and slightly different to that, so I might not go as deep. If I've got the opportunity, why not to get it in there? And what am I going to do? Will I proceed with that? Is it enough of a contrast? It's ever so subtle. So all I do then is just invisible stitch gets snipped back to allow this little piece to slide in. Into there, into there. It's fiddly, but I think worth the effort. And that there, then that can slide back. It's such coarse fabric, like it's putting a bit of resistance up there. I'll fiddle with it a bit more once I get down to needle and thread and make sure that it's turned properly and everything is seated. The next thing I want to do is grab my container of random floral fabrics, big old fabrics, big print fabrics is what I'm trying to say, and see if there's some more florals that can be fussy cut out to build. I'm going to put the lace under that. I decided I don't like that. Lace is just so pretty. Just want to see it. There we go. There we go. Changed my whole thought there, which is okay. That happens. So delicate. Ow. Pins, 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 pins. These ones are very similar. So I need to, what have we got here? A nice scrap. Is that enough to turn under? Probably not. This is, here we go. Slightly different colour. Could do with something a bit darker. Just leaning over to my scrap bucket. I think I need to hop up and grab it. Here we go. There we go. There'll be something in here. There's always something. You rummage a little bit. Find treasures, don't you? A bit more of that. This is good. A bit more of that. That's random. Oh, I've got plenty of that fabric. There's some Japanese fabric. Pretty sure it is. That gives me a different texture and colour palette. Yeah, I like that. Nice. That gets me to the corner, and then I can lay over that something else if I so choose. That gets me to that edge. I'm looking forward to revisiting the treasure hunt and seeing what prompts are yet to find their way to the piece. It'll be good. Have a think about all of the words and the little phrases and see. That it feels so out of whack there, and it's a selvage and it shouldn't. What am I doing? Oh, I haven't turned it enough. Okay, hold the horses. Need to get that turned down a lot more than what it was. That feels better. I just pin that this side because I can see, gee, that pin's blunt. I can see just how much that was out. Gosh, it was nearly out half an inch. I just felt like my edge was going whoopee. That's better. Such thick fabric, and it's pushed back on me and told me, oh, I'm folded, I'm staying here, but it actually was in the wrong spot. But I'll check it before I stitch it. You know what it's like, you pin things down and then you walk it across to your favourite chair and then you get there and go, what's happened? I don't want that yellowy buttery fabric. I can do a little bit of this now. I wonder if I should take this opportunity to slide in a piece here. I'm thinking so. So I'm going to lift this little guy a bit with that little guy. So fixing a multitude of little issues. Back it up. That can go a little bit more. But if we're clever, we can also get ourselves a folded edge, I think. Will it fit? I think it will. That's it, down you go. Oh, I'm so pleased that little piece of lace has found a home because it was really delicate. And I've used it in so many stitcheries. It's just been a lovely little gift to have in my stash. Well, now it's finding its final space and it's staying in its form. See, this was just getting so delicate, so I was finding it hard to actually use it in projects because it was really starting to disintegrate. I sort of had used the best bits, if you will. Okay, let's spin it. Spin it around. Oops, sorry guys. Spin it around. Now the sun's starting to come in. Look how bright it's got. Oh well, I'm just piecing fabrics so you guys aren't really missing out on too much. Yeah, that's good. That fixes the hole, gives me an edge. And then I can go through the prompts and find out what we do up here. Maybe it's going to be the panel that, as I work on projects, I come across something from my treasures of my grandmother and I've got a spot to stitch it, you know. Maybe it's going to be one of those types of pieces that, look at this, we've got a seam. I don't think I can use that. Put this one here and then we can just find something contrasting to go there. She used to do a lot of tapestries, and I've got a few little tapestry pieces that I've bought, you know, where they've been in a frame and a lot of petty point, that tiny stitching. Maybe I dig them out and I put a little tapestry piece up here in a nod to her tapestries. She used to use that as a way to unwind. Being a dressmaker, tapestry was a don't have to think, just stitch. Ow. Pins, pins, pins. Yeah, I think, where are they? Are they here? Yes, I can see them. All right, in the next video, once I get this border secure, I might dig out the little collection of mini tapestries that I've got, and maybe that's the start of something. Oh, look at that sun. Oh, so sorry, guys. Maybe this heart can come in now. What do you reckon? Do we put that on that bottom corner? No, just not quite. No, not yet. I haven't found a home for it yet. All right, let's have a look for some more fabric. Something a bit textured, like that. I like that line. Is there enough to fold over? Just. I feel like I need a plainer piece there. Let's go back to this. This is a napkin I've been nibbling at for some time. I think I'll get rid of, do I do that folded edge? Sorry guys. Just, yeah, I might actually. Okay. I'd say a trim might go up this side, but I don't know. Depends what trim I find. A lot of my trims I've bought from like Indian sari silk Etsy stores. I've shown them before on my purchases, and I've used a couple, but they're a little bit hoardy still. I'm not quite ready to use them. I put a couple on Honey Bear's dress. I was quite proud of myself that I managed to do that. You know, these pieces of fabric stitched in like this, they really do remind me of things that Grandma would have done, especially her mother, because times were tough in the Depression. That's the very early stages of my grandmother's married life. So she was forever piecing fabrics together from different outfits to try and scrimp and scrape another outfit together for their family, or Granddad's work clothes. Like, it really was, she would do this. She would unpick. I remember she made my confirmation dress, and it was a little white dress, and connected at the waist, little cap sleeves. It was just the cutest little thing. Little white shoes, and I was as happy as anything. And then about 4 or 5 years later, I came to my grade 10 graduation, and I could just, I don't know, I just love that little confirmation dress. I was probably in grade 8 when she made the confirmation dress. I think that's probably right. And then grade 10, maybe grade 7, grade 10. I know there was a few years in it, and I really hadn't changed much in my body structure. I was still a little beanpole. No hips, no boobs, just a skinny little farm kid. And the only thing that had changed is I had shot up. I'd probably grown 4 or 5 inches. So the little confirmation dress that was below my knee at my shin was now above my knee. So what Grandma did is we unpicked the dress, and she tailored the skirt so it was more of a pencil skirt than an A-frame. That gave her some fabric from the side that she then added to the bodice, which she disconnected. So it became a skirt and a top. And at the base of the top, she added in the fabric from the side to extend the blouse. So that took up that the girl is grown. And then we got some lace out of her cupboard. Goodness knows where that lace had come from and what part of history it was, going on what I've got from her cupboard. Oh gosh, I wish I could go back in time to have a look at what she actually did. And she got some, she was making a wedding dress, and the lace was pieced on this lady's sleeve, but the see-through part. Now that fabric was like, it wasn't gauze, it wasn't mesh, it was like a violin. Is that the right word? I don't know what the word is. Chiffon? No, it'll come to me. It was a see-through fabric and it was a real soft white. So she added that also into my extension to the bodice, and I had little cap sleeves. Well, now my arms were longer and those little cap sleeves look quite silly. So she added some of that soft fabric to the end of the cap sleeve and then tailored it in with a ribbon at the bottom of the sleeve to connect it down onto my top of my arm. So it sort of put me back into proportion within the outfit. So, oh, it was so much fun. I remember we were planning it and let's try this and let's do this, and we cut and rejoined and restitched, and oh gosh, it was the best. It was the best. And that was my graduation dress. The sleeve, I'm just wondering if I described that right. I don't know if that's right, whether she used the fabric from the skirt to extend the sleeve. Look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find a picture of my, I know I've got a photo somewhere of me delivering the valedictory speech at our grade 10 graduation. And you can sort of see the dress, and I'll see if I can find a picture of me 3 years earlier wearing that same dress that hadn't yet was going to be modified for my graduation. If I can't find it, it won't be at the end of the video. So if you don't see it, well then I was unable to find it, but I'll see if I can find it. It's pretty cute. You'll see this little slender, skinny farm kid. Oh my gosh, the memories. There we go. I'm happy with that. We've now got ourselves a panel. We've now bordered ourselves in. Yeah, oh, I love it. So let's have a little rummage through this again and see actually the lacy pieces too. There was some really cool bits that came off. Maybe we can, because remember it was a wedding dress seamstress. Yeah, I like that on there. Doesn't that soften the whole, oh, what's going on? It's an extension of that line. I'll just put a couple pins in. I wish they'd hurry up and invent time travel so I could go back and visit Grandma's sewing room. Could you imagine the lacy bits that I'd come back with? Could you imagine me walking in the door and Grandma would be sitting there sewing and it's like, who are you? I could say, I'm your granddaughter from the future. See, the other night I watched Back to the Future, that Michael J. Fox. So now it's top of my mind. If only we could. If I pin that the right way, yes I have. I like that. I like that a lot. What else? So we got this little piece. Where can we find? See, that's part of that. It had come out. Little clusters. Don't mind it there. So there's Mum's wedding lace. No, don't like it there. Don't mind it there, actually. Just put a pin there. We'll see. You guys are really copping the sun now. I could draw the curtain across, but it really doesn't help much. It's just that hour or so where the sun's peeking through those trees. It's another nice piece. Maybe that. Yeah, I like that. That tucks in around the sea. Oh gosh, you can't see. See that piece there? I might spin the whole mat around. Becoming quite mobile, aren't I? And I'm going to nestle this little morsel in here. Don't want to bump into there, but I do want to, yeah, beautiful. See, that's really helped blend the monogram. So that's now got a home. This needs to come up a little bit there. Don't mind that shooting off the top a little bit, so I'm okay with that. Oops. So if I can't find, you know, the photo that might be the trickiest is the one of my confirmation. That'd be, oh, look at you. That'd be the one that might be the hardest, but I'll have a look. Gosh, I'm making all these promises and then I'm going to be like, spend hours looking. I'm going to pin that there. I haven't bought out that blingy piece with all the diamantes. It's just so blingy. It's got a little bit of bling on it, but I don't mind the pearls. I like that. Okay. So what's left in our little bucket of tricks here? What's that? Random little piece. That's a repeat of that. So that's already on there. I'm going to pop that back in the stash. We'll save that for a rainy day. This little guy, I don't think we need those unless, oh, hang on, hold that thought. Maybe we can use them to bulk out some of this. I haven't really done too much of that yet. We'll pin it, think about it. So the lace is like starting to pop through the flowers. So I've gained that little flower in the process, so I'm happy with that. Sort of starts molding it all together a bit when you start adding these little scrappy bits. That was a funny little spot there. Maybe that can... She's a bit weathered, like, and not in stained, but crinkled. So I might add it there. Can sneak onto the cross stitch a little bit there. Oops. Yeah, I like that. You start noticing little flat spots where there's just a gap. And I think you all noticed that when you were doing your piece, that you sort of got to the end of the prompts and there were like little spots where you could squeeze in little things that you liked or bits that hadn't found a home, and it really then gelled the whole project together. This little guy, do we have a spot I think we just want one. Sort of like that random little guy there. I think he's going to go right there. He's found a home, and look, I get to keep 3 of them. Beautiful. Back into the lace pot. Lovely. Now, what about a tree? I just spotted something out of the corner of my eye. This here, that. It's not exactly a boho Indian sari trim, but I sort of feel like it's better than some of the spotty stuff, but I don't know. I'm just going to let it sit on the desk for a little bit, think about it. The other one is this guy. This to me feels like a bride. You know, the other thing we've got to work into this is some tape measure, a seamstress tape measure, and I specifically found this little gem. Maybe that's goes down the side here. Hang on. Oh, we're pinned. I've got an idea, guys. Oh, come on. What's holding it? Maybe. I don't know. This might not look right. Maybe that gets stitched down the side. Is that like screaming seamstress or what? Don't mind that. I wonder if it could actually, if that went all the way down the side, bear with me, if that went all the way down there and then it turned and went across the top. So we've got the 2. Oh, there's a nasty stain there. Bugger. Okay, what if it stopped about there? It was very much inches. And that top edge has that. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like that idea. Be a lovely home for it. Maybe I can deal with that stain right there with something to just disguise it. I like that. I really like that. To have that old tape measure in there. She was always had a tape measure around her neck. Like, oh, if I can find a tapestry element to go here, that would be pretty cool. And then we still have this to potentially pop in somewhere as well. So I'm going to pop these 2 bits in our tray. We've still got some little morsels to find a home. I'd have to be ashamed to cut that. Or do I turn it into inches? Do I start off centimetres and then turn it? I sort of need it up the right way. I'll have to think about the the process of which that I do this to get that. It needs to be turned 3 times to get the numbers right. I don't know. Oh, I'll think about it another time, but it's definitely going to be the edge this side is the tape measure. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's just not get too far ahead here. I need to back it up, stitch down my border, stitch down these extra pieces of lace I've added, and just then come back and have a look at what element, I'm just pinning down this bottom corner, it's all come adrift, what element gets added in that top edge, the canopy of flowers across there. I'm thinking it's going to be a piece of tapestry. I know there's some little rose tapestries that are in these tones. Then I can start going into the detail of these flowers up here, and I want to embroider them, bead them, add some 3D elements, some Suffolk puffs. I also need to get the list of prompts and make sure that they're all covered. Yeah. Very much so. Okay, I might leave it at that. We've had another play with the panel. It's really starting to come together. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodbye and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.